morning. Welcome to Good Morning Anambra, the 18th February, Tuesday, 2025. My name is Ajuluchuku Okabwe.
And I'm Noye Nwokoye. Thank you so much for joining us today on Good Morning Anambra show. And
then we'll be beginning the program with our press review, and after that we'll have our discussion segment and many more other things that we'll be bringing to you in order to keep you entertained and well informed on the happenings around. The press review is about to start. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Glad to still have you stay with us, and now we'll begin with news making headlines on ABS website. And the first news we have for you: Anambra State government debunks fake news on alleged arrest of half-naked women in Anambra State. Anambra governorship election: ABGA national chairman Ezeokenwa calls for stronger synergy in party leadership. Restorative justice, prison fellowship, Nigeria, ROLAC holds sensitization workshop in Anambra State. More Nigerians propose increase in charges of ATM transaction fees. Ikoka market traders embark on special cleanup exercise. Onitsha residents commend distilling of drainage channels along Enugu-Onitsha Expressway. That and more is what we have for you on ABS website. Well, let's talk about this. The first story here, talking about the Anambra State government debunking fake news on alleged arrest of half-naked women in Anambra State.
You know, it's funny because the way the stories are trending on social media, you can imagine, you know, somebody asking, how are they going to find out that somebody is not wearing underwears, you know? And at the other side, somebody will tell you that you don't need any soothsayer to tell you that this person is not actually wearing. So they've already gone ahead to say that they've started arresting people, you know. And another thing, on a more serious note, social media, you know, should tread with caution. You don't share stories that are not real. You know, when you see a story, you have to confirm whether the story is truth or not before you share. Let it not be on your word that fake news, you know, is spreading on social media. And some of these fake news are detrimental to the growth of the society.
Very detrimental because it can spin either direction and then cause mayhem to even people that are wanting to learn a thing or two from that. Now, still talking about Anambra State, Anambra's governorship election. ABGA national chairman Ezeokenwa calls for stronger synergy in party leadership. This is an election year, you know?
Yes, a very important year for Anambra at that. And of course, every party is making preparations to ensure that either they grab the seat. Even some people that are saying someone is sitting on their seat. I wonder where that is coming from, you know. But my own is let Anambra decide, you know, and every party should put their house in order, their houses in order to ensure a hitch-free election.
Of course, it is democracy that we are practicing and nothing else. So, well, let no one cajole you, let no one, you understand, coerce you into doing what you don't want to do. You know the right thing to do. Now, still talking about the proposed increment of ATM transaction fees, more Nigerians are actually calling for, is it the central bank this time around to, you know, let's say cancel it or probably just leave it. But then, like we had in our discussion yesterday, when our analyst was saying that there are the good sides to these things, and then
it boils down to what I asked yesterday, that, you know, it's high time you start letting Nigerians know your plans, what you want to achieve. It's going to make them relax and watch the plans unfold. You don't just wake up. And this has been our style. They keep doing it.
Yeah.
Every morning you wake up and you see on the pages of papers, in fact, some of the decisions have already started.
The implementation has already
started before you see it on the pages of the papers. And this should not be. It's not a way to, you don't carry people along. You'll always have issues.
I think my stand is that even as it stands now, even before the federal government came up, central bank rather came up with this increment, we as Nigerians, in order to do our day-to-day activities, we are paying these fees via POS because the cash is never available for you to access at the ATM in most of these bank lobbies. So now tell me, Nigerians are already paying this thing. But what Nigerians are not down with is that charge from bank.
You're already paying it. Now, what is it going to cost you now that there is this money on top? It will be triple. Exactly.
You're paying it without even knowing that you're... Yeah. But now, they are now making it more statutory, that this is what it's going to be. So now you want to go withdraw 2,000 naira, 20,000 naira from the POS. Instead of something you pay like 300, 400, you pay like 8,000 naira.
I think everybody should embrace the transfer, online transfer. You know, I think it's...
Online transfer, now you want to buy...
Now you Sabio, yeah, online transfer.
You know, how many of these women that sell vegetables and the rest of it?
We learn to go and buy in bulk, buy once and pay whatever you have to pay.
For who has the money? Well,
all right, let's move on. Let's see the first paper for review now. We take two papers at a time because of want of time. The first paper is the Daily Times newspaper. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Daily Times. Osun violence, hold APC responsible. PDP tells IGP as selected chairman brandish court papers. FCT begins e-ticketing for traffic offenders. No bandits can dare our village. Zamfara community boasts. 2027 ZLP drop zoning presidency to Southeast OB2. PDP youth leader knocks Wabara for commending Governor Oti. And of course, the next paper, the Punch newspaper, chaos, crisis in Lagos. DSS, lawmakers bicker over daylight assembly invasion. Miranda refuses to resign. Obasa plots a return. GAC to meet Tinubu. Sanwo-Olu's security changed. Okay, FG plans a 2.3 trillion electricity subsidy in 2025. Now, Osun mayhem, ex-council chair, 6 others shot dead as Adeleke Oyetola's supporters war. A lot of stories in the front of Punch, and of course, Daily Times newspaper, Ajolo. I watched the House of Assembly yesterday in Lagos. I saw people, some standing on chairs, some filming, videoing what is going on. You know, some people trying to carry somebody from top and throw inside. I don't know if Jesus was there as the paralytic man that they laid from the roof. You know, you can imagine what is going on and what our younger generations are watching and learning from.
Well, it is not new in Nigeria. We even saw things like that happen in the past
even
at the National Assembly. So where people were, you know, trying to, you know, lawmakers were climbing the gates physically and then trying to get even the officials and the staff.
And these are legacies.
To gain entrance into the building. So when we see things like this, we begin to wonder, how did these people, you understand, get themselves into the corridors of power to the extent that they are lawmakers in a country? No wonder you begin to wonder what kind of laws with people like this, you understand, that probably don't have proper public etiquette, you understand, in how to conduct themselves in public, now have the mind to actually, will I say, make laws that will make us a sane climb, you understand? So it is very, very appalling that at this day and age where whatever you do in your bedroom with a phone, the entire world can see.
And even the killing in Osun, you begin to wonder.
So now, politics in this part of the world is no longer a thing of ideology or manifesto implementation. No, it's all about grab it at all costs.
And run with it.
And run with it. So when you see the president of the last election that we had, where people, where the people that were actually meant to give us the mandate actually took it from us. So it now makes it that who has the fattest and the deepest purse will definitely get to find himself in the corridors of power. And that is where democracy, to me, as far as I know, has a major crack. Because it's no longer a case of the people wanting these people. It is who the people, it is who the elites throw at us that we now scramble to put in power.
And look at the story of Lagos. You know, I read somewhere that the president was not aware of what happened.
I wouldn't want to believe that. There's no
and gave instruction to reinstate the one they chased away. You know.
So why this is democracy. We are not answerable to one man's decision. Are there no due process to take in order to get the things done properly? Well, there was one caption we saw the other day where they said the states, the ousted, what is it called? House of
Assembly Speaker
wanted to go see the president. Seeing the president for what? What does the Constitution say? If you're indicted, if you're found wanting, let the due course, let us take the due course. Why do we need to go and see as if we are operating a monarch system of governance here, where the king has the final say?
We really have a long way to go in Nigeria, because
then we should scrap this thing that we are practicing calling democracy, because that's not what we are actually practicing.
The rule of law is hardly obeyed in this country, you know that. And godfatherism is in everywhere, even in civil service, who you know. And that is why we keep having issues, because there are laid down procedures. There are principles guiding everything one does. Now you enter through a back door because you know somebody and you can do whatever you like. And other younger ones are watching. What are they going to do tomorrow? If you carry chair to beat somebody, they will carry something bigger than chair to beat their own.
Imagine a chief security officer of a state, talking about Osun State, in the Daily Times caption. Imagine what the governor is saying. Osun violence, old APC responsible, PDP tells IGP. That is, PDP is in charge of Osun State. So now a party that is ruling is now telling us that it is the opposition that is fomenting trouble. Whereas you, as the party that is ruling in that state, your governor is the #1 chief security officer of that state. But he has forgotten that responsibility entrusted upon him by the masses when an election was conducted in that state. And now he's telling the IGP that the mayhem happening here is being caused by the opposition. That's to tell you that the people we have in power are not serious for the power they wanted. You understand? And then we voted them for. This is sheer irresponsibility on the part of whosoever that is the government.
All right, we can actually go on, but let's move to this day newspaper and the Nation quickly for our time.
Yeah, this day newspaper really caught my fancy this morning. Not only because Oti is celebrating his 60th birthday, but because of the lettering of that word. For me, as a Scrabble lover, a Scrabble fan, this really caught my fancy this morning.
The only way you can ever arrange these letters.
That's just it, So if you understand what Scrabble actually is, you probably, in fact, I sent a message of this to my Scrabble group, and I was asking, please, is Alex Oti a Scrabble player? Because I really don't understand why his letters will just come out with the X having it and the rest of it. But then, that's what we are seeing there at the banner headline of this day newspaper. Well, let's go down to what we have there at the mast. After rebasing, MBS puts headline inflation at 24.48% in January from 34.80% in December. And that's what we're talking. And let's see what the rider there says. Food index drops to 26.08% from 39.84%. Core inflation now at 22.59% from 29.28%. New CPI reflects current inflationary pressure, and then we have consumption pattern, says statistical agency. Clarifies decline in rebased inflation does not mean general price level is declining. That's what we have for you on this day. Let's see what we have for you on the Nation newspaper. Inflation drops to 24.48% in expected NBS January figures. That's the banner headline on the Nation newspaper. And we have still talking about the mayhem in Osun State over control of councils. That's to tell you that we are not actually ripe for democracy in this part of the world if we can't put our house in order. And then the rider there says, many killed, injured. Governor shot secretariat. That's what we are seeing there. And Lagos gets 8 CP in 7 years. Moshood replaces Ishola. Could that be as a result of what we saw that happened at the National Assembly, just like you were talking? Investors scramble for Nigeria's assets. Economy peaks on liquidity. CEOs confident in economy. DSS presence at Lagos Assembly raises dust. Ogun promised IPP in 8 weeks.
Right, on the Guardian newspapers, we'll be seeing Lagos Assembly crisis worsens, reveals deeper cracks in state power dynamics. That's the Guardian newspapers. Now, Labour Party denies zoning 2027 presidential ticket, refutes Igbo presidency claims. Still in front of the Guardian, we have other stories there. Power outage, UCH resident doctors embark on indefinite strike. And Nigeria has shown approval of Tinubu's performance via defection to APC. Monday cries rising cost of alternative energy over regulation policy inconsistencies. Labour lawmakers will be react as NAFDAC seals 3,000 Lagos shops. Over 20,000 communities without electricity nationwide, says REA, and you begin to wonder where the subsidies went to. All right, Daily Trust newspaper is next in our lineup, and we see stories. Saudi firm threatens to sue Hajj Commission over contract breach. Amoteco sends back 114 northerners from Ondo. Despite court ban, VIO returned to Abuja roads. Lagos Assembly adjourns indefinitely as moved to remove Speaker Heightens. Osun LG crisis, ex-council chair, others killed. Delegates shot secretariat who will fish out perpetrators coming from the Inspector General of Police. Gunmen kill 19 in Benue. FM releases Africa's first feature film on AI. And of course, manufacturing sector on its last breath. That's coming from Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Quickly, the Nigerian Tribune.
Yeah, let's go with the Nigerian Tribune, and then the banner headline that we have for you is chaos in Lagos Assembly, DSS invasion of Assembly premises, entering of chamber, speak, outrage, lawmakers, Assembly, workers, indigents, storm Assembly. That's part of the riders there. Scuffle with security personnel. Leaked memo shows DSS was invited over need for enhanced security measures. Miranda gained support, shed tears amid confidence vote by 36 lawmakers. Power outage, that's coming from the UCH residents, doctors threaten indefinite strike. AU endorses Nigeria as digital trade champion. UBA group champions peace in Africa with landmark $500,000 donation to AU Peace Fund. And bandits killed 19 in Benue, renewed attacks. Bloodshed in Osun, we've captured that. And let's see what we have for you. The next is the blueprint. And then the banner headline still talking about, as an aftermath of appeal court judgment, violence erupts in Osun, ex-council chair, 4 others killed. The writer says PDP, APC lay claim to local government reps, Kakos seek Tinubu's intervention. APC alleges SSG-led attack. Adeleke, PDP, false claim. We'll deal with corporate that's coming from the police. And then we have sports, 2025 ITTF African Cup. Aruna Meshev to defend titles in Tunisia. We have Cardoso urges stronger economic ties with Middle East. Lagos Assembly crisis escalates, 36 members back Miranda. Right. NNPCL requires 15% equity stake in Stars CNG station. And that's the much we have for you.
All right, the last but not the least is the Vanguard newspaper. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Vanguard newspapers. Osun LG crisis. We've seen that in almost all the papers. I won't stop praising OT. Wabara tells PDP. Other stories, Lagos Assembly crisis, why our men were in the premises. Explanation has come from the DSS. 19 killed in fresh herdsmen's attack in Benue community. And of course, economic diversification. Edun lists insecurity, poor infrastructure as key challenges. And of course, happy birthday to Governor-elect Oti of Abia State. Kanu raises alarm, alleges FJ's tricks to perpetually detain him. And of course, that's the much we have on the paper. But quickly, let's really talk about summarize what has been going on in this morning's paper. You can see that doctors, some are threatening indefinite strike, some have already started the indefinite strike, while our leaders are busy, pursuing their mandate of becoming speaker, becoming the next governor, becoming the next president or the next whatever. I don't know how our priorities are placed in this part of the world.
It's really, really appalling to see that even a year, less than 2 years into the last election, and people are beginning to even clamor for 2027. In one of the papers that we read this morning, we are seeing that Tinubu seem to be doing well. That's why we are seeing mass migration from other parties into APC. To me, that's not a case or a yardstick to measure who is actually doing well. If you're a leader, a true leader is one that has positive criticism, not where you cajole people to join you, then your sins are forgiven just because nobody will be there to speak as maybe a pressure group and the rest of it as opposition. To what end is it that you're a leader and then nobody can tell you of the wrong that you're doing? Because nobody has it all. Nobody has the monopoly of good. There are certain areas where you're not getting it right. One of the captions that we saw that manufacturing is at its last breath in this country. It's there on the front pages of here. We are having issues with electricity. Hospitals are being shut down because there is power outage. Like you rightly said, our leaders seem to be less concerned about what to do in order to salvage what is left of this country. What they are thinking about is how to position themselves in order to rig their cohorts and then their paymasters into the next election.
And please, I would like to plead with the authorities concerned at this point, because last 2 weeks, I think there's Abuja doctors threatened to go on indefinite strike, and I think they've started as they promised. For the sake of the common man that is lying sick in Nigerian hospitals, something should be done.
If you're not lying sick, tomorrow you could be sick. That you're healthy today, tomorrow is not guaranteed.
No,
you understand?
We are talking about intervention, immediate intervention to, for the situation at hand. People are already in the hospitals, and when the strikes begin, nobody will come to attend to them. And what's next? If you're not attended to, you will die. And when you die, sometimes you're not supposed to, out of something you're not supposed to die of, you will just die. So I think something needs to be done to, cushion the effects of sick people in the hospitals.
What needs to be done is if what we saw that made the headlines over the week about our Ribadu, you understand, having issues with the Canadian embassy for some top brass military officials being denied visa to Canada. Now, if most of these are political elites have been denied visa to travel abroad for medical tourism, and the rest of it all, that's when they begin to look inwards and fix what we have here.
Ribadu rightly said it.
You understand?
We should
That's,
come back.
So now, if Ribadu can capture that in one of the statements he made, that now it's now time for Nigerians to look inward and try to fix this country. If you're being denied access to places where you go for medical tourism and the rest of it all, and then nobody gives you that access for you to, then you have no choice than to look inwards and then fix what you have. After all, the best brains out there are even Nigerians. But because the environment is not conducive for them to practice here, the pittance you pay as salary can't take them home. And you have no other means or other choice than to look for other ways to sustain yourself. We had a guest coming here and say, as a professor, his salary doesn't even take him 2 weeks. A professor.
You know, there's a name.
Based on what responsibilities he has, children he has in the university and the rest of it all.
There's a name my father was answering when he was alive. You know, when you treat a Mr. A the way you treat Mr. B, you know, they at least to a large extent, the society will be better for it. You know, you are a rich man, you are a politician, your children are all out there, you know, enjoying life, while so many Nigerians are here, back here in the country, suffering malnutrition, suffering hunger, suffering strike every day. Our children are out of school and in the school. You know, and most of them lose interest in education. When you go on strike for 8 months and come back 2 months, I don't know where your interest will lie. But in all, I think what needs to be done, something needs to be done, or what needs to be done quickly for us to rescue Nigeria.
Well, on that note, we'll be calling it a wrap on the press review this morning. But don't go anywhere. We still have a whole lot for you this morning. I still remain at Juluchuku Okagwe.
And I'm Nonye Nwokoye. Thank you so much for watching.